Okay, so we're going to start by seeing how many times x plus 5 divides into x squared plus 8x plus 15. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide. So we're going to divide x into x squared. So how many times does x go into x squared? And we know that x goes into x squared x times. So we can put x down. So that's our division done. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to multiply. So x times x will give us x squared, and plus 5 times x will give us plus 5x. So put in our plus 5x. The last step that we need to do is we need to subtract. So I'm going to draw a line across here, and I'm going to change the sign from positive to negative. So when I subtract my terms, x squared minus x squared will cancel. I'll have plus 8x minus 5x will leave me with 3x. And I'm going to bring down that term there because that still hasn't been divided in yet. So I'm going to bring that down. So now I'm starting all over again. It's as if this here, well, let's just make sure that that's okay. So it's as if this here doesn't exist. And now I'm going to see how many times x plus 5 divides into 3x plus 15. Okay, so we'll start off the first step, which is divide. So x goes into 3x plus 3 times. So I'm going to put in the plus 3 there. Okay. Next is multiply. So I'm going to multiply there and say that x times 3 will give me plus 3x. And that plus 5 times 3 gives me a positive 15. The last step there is to subtract. So I'm going to draw the line and change the signs. And I'll see there that this will cancel and this will cancel, and I'll be left with 0. So this tells us here that x squared plus 8x plus 15 divided by x plus 5 leaves you with an answer of x plus 3. Okay. It's important that you understand that if I was to multiply the two of these together, I would end up with this. So effectively what you found is that this and this are the factors of this. Okay. I'm just going to do one more there, so I'll give you a second just to take that down, and then I'll just do one more. Okay, so we'll just start question 3. With question 3, again, just make sure you lay it out correctly. So x squared plus 9x plus 14 is all being divided by x plus 2. So again, x squared plus 9x plus 14, x squared plus 9x plus 14 is being divided by x plus 2, x plus 2. Okay, so the very first step is to divide. So we're going to see how many times x divides into x squared, and the answer in this case is going to be x times. The next step is to multiply. So x times x, okay, is going to give us x squared, and plus 2 times x will give us plus 2x. So that's our multiplication done. The next step is to subtract. So we'll draw our line, change our signs, we can see here that the x squared minus x squared will cancel. And 9x take away 2x will leave us with 7x. I'm going to bring down that plus 14, so that plus 14 comes down. And then I'm going to start my cycle all over again. So, just see if I can bring this down. So it's as if all of this doesn't exist, because that's already dealt with. And now we're starting the whole thing again. So we're starting the cycle again. We've just completed one full cycle. Now we're going to start a brand new cycle, and we're going to see how many times x plus 2 divides into 7x plus 14. Okay. So the first step is to divide. So x goes into 7x plus 7 times. So I'm going to put in my plus 7. The next thing we need to do is multiply. So x times 7 gives us 7x. And plus 2 times 7 gives us plus 14. The last step is to subtract. So I'm going to draw my line, change my signs. And if I subtract them, 7 take away 7 leaves us with nothing. 14 take away 14 leaves us with 0. So you can see there that we did 2 full cycles. The first cycle finished when we got this. The second cycle finished when we got 0. And again, just to reiterate, what we're after finding there is that we're after finding that x plus 7 is a factor of x squared plus 9x plus 14. Okay, so in other words, it divides into this evenly. Okay. Okay, so we get going there, question 4. So with question 4, we want to see how many times x plus 3 divides into 2x squared plus 9x plus 9. So we'll just double check that we've everything taken down right. So we want to see how many times x plus 3 divides into 2x squared plus 9x plus 9. 2x squared plus 9x plus 9. Okay, first thing that we need to do is we need to divide. So how many times does x divide into 2x squared? Okay, so how many times does x divide into 2x squared? So that's our division. And how many times it divides in is 2x times. And we can double check that by multiplying. X times 2x gives us 2x squared. Okay, part 2 is to multiply. So x multiplied by 2x will give us 2x squared. So I've multiplied the first 2 terms. Now I need to multiply the second 2 terms. So 3 times 2x leaves us with plus 6x. Next thing we need to do is subtract. So draw your line, change your signs. 2x squared minus 2x squared leaves you with nothing. And then if you've got 9 and you take away 6, you'll be left with 3x. And we'll bring down that 9 there. So like I was saying, that's the first full cycle complete. So in your exams, if you get a full cycle complete, you get a good chunk of the marks. Okay. So we're going to start the second cycle. And when I say we're going to start the second cycle, it's like, so when I say we're going to start the second cycle, it's like none of this exists. And we're just seeing how many times this here divides into this. So first step is divide. So x goes into 3x plus 3 times. So I'm going to put in the plus 3 there. Next step is to multiply. So x times plus 3 gives you 3x. And 3 times 3, you can see there 3 times 3 will give us 9. The last step is to subtract. And what I'm going to do is draw my line, change my signs, and then subtract. So 3x take away 3x leaves me with nothing, and 9 take away 9 leaves me with nothing. So that's my final answer there. So I can say that 2x squared plus 9x plus 9 divided by x plus 3 leaves me with 2x plus 3. Okay, so we'll just look at this one here. And with this one here, it's just to show you that instead of writing it like this, it can also be written like this, because this is in fraction form. So you know the fractions represent division. So this, what this effectively is saying is 6x squared minus 10x minus 4 divided by 3x plus 1. So we're just going to write that out in long division. 6x squared minus 10x minus 4 all divided by 3x plus 1. Okay, so we do the exact same as we had been doing previously. We start off by dividing. So we're going to divide first. And 3x divides into 6x squared 2x times. You can double check that by multiplying, and 3x times 2x gives you 6x squared, so we know that's correct. Our next step is to multiply. So 3x times 2x gives you 6x squared, like I just said. And now we need to look at the second term. So plus 1 times 2x gives you plus 2x. Okay, our next step is to subtract. So we're going to draw our line and change our signs. Because effectively when we're subtracting, we're saying 6x take away 6x squared leaves us with nothing. And I've changed the signs there because if you on a term by term basis, negative 10x take away 2x is what we're actually doing. Okay, so these two will cancel, and negative 10x take away 2 is the same as saying if you owe the bank €10 and you borrow 2 more, so it's going to be negative 12. We're going to bring down that term there. And then it's like we're starting a brand new cycle from scratch. So I'm going to bring down this here, and it's almost as if we're saying that we're going to ignore everything that's been done so far, because this is a brand new cycle. So everything that's been done before is irrelevant now, and now what we're doing is we're seeing how many times 3x plus 1 divides into negative 12x minus 4. Okay, I'll just bring that back up, but just so you're aware of what's happening. So divide first, and 3x divided into negative 12x is going to give us negative 4. Okay, so it's just to be extra careful with those signs. Next, we're going to multiply, and we're going to multiply 3x by negative 4, and 3x multiplied by negative 4, okay, will give us negative 12x. That's 3x by negative 4. But next, I have to multiply the positive 1 by negative 4. And positive 1 by negative 4 leaves you with negative 4. Last step is to subtract, so draw your line. Now if I subtract a negative, it turns into a positive. So that's why I've always been saying draw your line and change your signs, because if it's negative and I subtract it, it'll turn into a positive. So I know the two of them are going to cancel, and when I change my signs here, I know the two of these are going to cancel, because negative 4 plus 4 will leave me with 0. Okay, so again, 6x squared minus 10x minus 4 divided by 3x plus 1 will leave me with an answer of 2x minus 4. So I can say that 2x minus 4 is a factor of 6x squared minus 10x minus 4. Similarly, 3x plus 1 is also a factor of this. So my two factors are there.